Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com.
May one speak between the wearing of the Rashi Tefillin and that of the Rabbeinu Tam. Some individuals are accustomed that after davening they will not speak to anybody or utter any words until after they have worn the Tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam. And the question is asked, is in truth this custom a requirement? Does it have basis? Should one do it? Can one ignore it? And talk in between, what does it say in the Poskim and what is practically done? So we are all aware of the background of the Tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam, that they follow an approach in the Rishonim and Poskim which hold that the Tefillin of Rashi are invalid, and therefore we wear the Rabbeinu Tam Tefillin as a due to the suffix, due to the doubt, in order to fulfill one's obligation according to all opinions. This certainly applies according to Kabbalah, which states that both Tefillin are kosher and valid, and represent different spiritual levels. Now, in the Shulchan Aruch, when it discusses the directive of God-fearing Jews to wear also the Tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam due to the above said doubt, it deals with the question of what do you do about the blessing. As you can't say a blessing over Rabbeinu Tam on its own, due to suffix brachas, and we find two approaches brought down. One approach is, which is still followed today by many, especially Sfardim who follow Kabbalah, to wear both Tefillin of Rashi Rabbeinu Tam at the same time simultaneously. They make small batim for the Rashi and Rabbeinu Tam of the Shalosh and Shal Yad and wear them together and say the bracha on both of them together. That's one way to escape the issue of the blessing problem. Another way recorded in Poskim is to, before davening, wear the Tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam with a blessing. Do not make any hefsek, don't talk, and immediately after you wear them, take them off and put on the Tefillin of Rashi based on the blessing you said, and then daven with the Tefillin of Rashi. So we see that the Poskim came up with different creative ways of how to include the Tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam within the bracha. Practically, however, the widespread custom of Jewry is not like either of the above said approaches, and rather we put on Rashi before davening with a blessing, and only after davening do we put on the Tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam, and so rules the Alter Rebbe in his Siddur as a directive to the public to wear the Tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam after davening either in the shul or could go home and wear it there. So based on this latter custom, the question is asked, is there any purpose anymore in not speaking in between prior to putting on the Rabbeinu Tam? Does it have any connection with the blessing that was said on Rashi before davening or not? So the general halacha is that whenever one spoke between a blessing and a mitzvah, the blessing is lost. And therefore certainly here you spent a half hour, an hour, whatever it was davening, after you said the bracha over the Rashi Tefillin, certainly according to halacha, you have lost the bracha from counting to the Rabbeinu Tam, as ruled in the Alter Rebbe, Shulchan Aruch, and all the Poskim regarding one who spoke between the Shal Yad and Shal Rosh, even of matters relating to davening, that he has lost the blessing and must repeat it over the Tefillin, Shal Rosh. Likewise, we do not find any Poskim who actually mention this in their above written halacha of putting on the Tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam after davening. Nobody says that you shouldn't speak in between. No one even mentions an act of hiddur, of piety, of chassidus not to speak. In fact, the Alter Rebbe in a Siddur writes that you should go home and wear the Tefillin at home. And therefore, certainly, he does not suspect for the concept of a hefsek of speaking before wearing the Tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam, due to the above said reason, as the blessing is lost anyways. We likewise find that the Maggid of Mezrich instructed his son, the Reb Avram the Malach, that between the Tefillin of Rashi and Rabbeinu Tam, he should eat a little bit and then learn and then only put it on afterwards. The Rebbe was likewise not accustomed to be stringent in this, and would first walk to his room after davening, and soon afterwards put on the Tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam, but not right away necessarily, and he wasn't particular to avoid speaking to people in the interim. Likewise, Rabbi Lando Shlita relates that this custom of not speaking in between he has not witnessed amongst Siddim, meaning the Alter and Ziknich Siddim, and that even the Chatchila they would talk in between prior to putting on the Tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam. Nonetheless, there is one Posek who writes that it is proper to avoid speaking, and that is the Sefer Shulchan Shleimah, letter 34, who writes that one should have in mind when saying the blessing over Rashi to include the Rabbeinu Tam, and after davening to put on the Rabbeinu Tam without speaking in between. He does not explain the logic behind his ruling. It is based on this opinion that those who are particular not to speak in between are basing it on. Nonetheless, even one who is stringent should not avoid answering greetings by people due to this stringency, As even during Shema, technically from the Mishnah ruling we rule that he may answer a greeting due to respect, and the Gemara in Bracha states that not answering to a greeting can be a form of stealing. All the above is only with regards to whether or not it is allowed to speak prior to putting on the Tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam after davening, of which we concluded that it is allowed even initially. However, regarding the proximity of how long after davening she would put it on, that we rule that lichatchila initially should be put on in close approximation to after davening. Shouldn't wait till mincha or till before shkia. Should try to put it on right away, either at home, as the Alter Rebbe writes in his Shulchan in his Siddur, or in the Beis Medrash after you've completed the davening. But it does not have to be put on that second immediately afterwards without making any interval in between.
Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com. Our free services of making Torah knowledge available to the public depends on donors like you. Please help us continue our work through making even a small contribution at Shulchanaruchharav.com under the Daily Halacha Dedication section or in the subscription page. Also, check out our online courses and many sefarim available for purchase that will both enhance your Torah knowledge and help support our work.